Hello everyone, welcome to my live. I said I would be hopping on here around 2:30-ish. So I'm a few minutes early and I just wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about this full moon. I already did a full moon reading, so you can check that out through YouTube. I always do a full moon reading. And also if you're in my VIP membership, that means that you also get access to my full moon ritual where we do theta healing downloads. So if you haven't emailed me about the things you would like theta healing around or anything that you're letting go of, feel free to email me there if you are VIP. Otherwise, if you're hopping on here live to get free readings or just to listen, you can put in the comments, what are you letting go of with this full moon? And then I will pull up some cards or answer any questions as well that you have. One deck I have here is my Mystical Shamanism deck. I use this a lot when I'm going into the Akashic Records. And then this deck is my Tarot and Angel card deck. And so for people that don't know, I just did a Tarot and Numerology class, and that is also now up for our VIP. So I do have some new people hopping in there, so welcome. And I would recommend if you are drawn towards learning about really basic numbers, and also if you ever want to pick up a Tarot and Angel card deck, this is a great deck to pick up. It's by Radley Valentine, and that's the one we were practicing with, okay? Maybe at some point I will sell these, but I don't feel called to right now. But if you want to know the specific deck, I can post it here in this group. And so welcome to this group as well. Feel free to introduce yourself, especially if you're just new hopping on. We love to have people in here. This is a new group for me. So again, let me know, what are you releasing? And also, can you just comment hello? Because if I don't see that, then that means the comments aren't working, and I'll have to grab my computer because it's really helpful to make sure my comments are working. So let's pull up a card just in general to talk about the energy of the moon. It's in Scorpio as well. I'm doing full moon readings, guys, as well, so you can check out horsemanreadings.com. Those get sent to your email by video. It's in Scorpio. It's an eclipse. It's a solar eclipse, and so we are in eclipse season, which just means big change. So a lot of things that we're releasing around the new moons and the full moons are going to be affecting our next 6 months or so. Okay. Oh, I just saw somebody that it says that they're watching. So could you just say hello so I can make sure that the comments are working? It says 2 people are watching. I see Sherry Lynn hopped on. I have a relatively low battery, so I'm not going to be on long, but I just want to make sure that the comments are working. Okay. And if I see nobody commenting, I will check my computer. I see Angela hopping on. So I feel like Sherry Lynn is the type of person that she would say hello if the comments were working. So might have to check that out. Okay. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna go check my computer because I just don't. I feel like you guys are commenting and I really want to see what you're saying, okay? So I'll go check in on that. And so keep commenting. We were talking a little bit about the energy of worry in one of the posts. So I'll just grab that right now. And worry is something that, yes, I commented. Okay. So I'm seeing your comments now. Of course. So maybe I'm meant to grab a piece of paper as well. And actually I'm going to grab, I know what I'm going to grab. Okay. I'm going to grab my Louise Hay cards. There was someone actually who, and now my puppy, I guess you guys needed some entertainment. Now my puppy just went into my basement. Get going here. Get going. Yeah, someone in their reading needed Louise Hay affirmations. And so Louise Hay is someone who basically connects to the emotions and the physical body. Come on, Georgie. Come on. So yeah, check that out. Yes, about worry with doctors and other things. Okay, so feel free to go a little deeper into that if you want to. So a big thing with full moons for people that don't know, it can be a time of new beginnings as well, just like a new moon can also be a time of releasing. It's just typically the way that I work is, so now people are commenting, awesome. Typically the way that I work is I use the full moon to let go of things, to empty my cup, and then I use the new moon as a way to bring in new things, okay, just as a general thing. So I am feeling like a heaviness in my breath. So we're going to start with Sherry Lynn here. So Sherry Lynn because you were saying that you're worrying about doctors and other things, okay? So let's pull you up a card. Here we have 6. Oh my gosh, now my dog is barking. So I can feel the energy is really intense. We're also in Mercury retrograde. So guys, just in general, full moon. We've got big change coming in Scorpio. It's all about like your intuition, your sensitivities, your psychic abilities, okay? And then also the letting go aspect, okay, without complicating it. One thing I'm learning as I teach is to keep everything so simple. And I find that just in general, that's like a tool when we're going through a lot. And we've got to take our time as we move through things, okay? So in my membership group also, I don't encourage people to like binge that to save money. I think it's better to like not do something than it is to do something for the sake of just like money, how to save money, because what's coming up is our health is more important. That's been a big theme for people as we're talking about health here, okay? Test for breast cancer, I'm not sure if I should go or not, and just trust. Okay. Now, do you mean go for your test? Is that what you mean? But you're using the word trust, you're using the word worry. So just that in general, things are looking up, the end of a difficult situation, taking a trip, okay? So Sherry Lynn, what's coming up here is 6 is the number of balance and air is the number of the mind. So it's telling you to balance your mindset with this worry. And also, yes, I mean, go to the test. Okay. So I'm just curious why you wouldn't want to make sure that that you're healthy if something is bothering you. So it sounds like you're really working on intuition, okay? So where this is a positive card, it says that you are moving forward. You're moving to a more peaceful time in your life. But again, it feels like you're working on that. How do I rest my mind when things are bothering me? But the key component here is absolutely keep learning to trust, keep learning to work on that intuition, because if you feel like there's something wrong intuitively, you should always get checked out. You should always go to the doctor. Your intuition is always right. And we were just talking about like Louise Hay, right? So make sure, oh, I'm going to pull up a card for you there too. Louise Hay, again, she can help us understand that the energy of sickness, of illness, that sort of thing, okay? And also that we can say things to and about our body, and not just our body, but typically and these cards are about how to love yourself. So often where you're talking about physical body, what can we say to our body to feel better, to feel more positive, to love ourselves unconditionally, because it's not about how we look on the outside. However, if you feel like you have sickness on the inside of your body, trust that, okay? But this says that you're moving to a more peaceful time in your life. I feel like you're moving to a more peaceful time in your mind, because when you go get a test, it's going to rest your mind. Oh, thank God I'm okay. And actually that just happened to excuse me, a recent loved one of mine. She finally got her test and found out that she's okay. Excuse me, but the panic mode and the worry mode of not knowing was worse, I think, than anything, right? So sometimes anxiety is caused from the fear of the unknown. So let's pull you up a card around that. Oh my gosh. So Sherry Lynn, you might have some throat chakra stuff going on as well. But if you've got things going on in the back of your mind, there's absolutely a balance with that, right? It's like, okay, do I take action on these fears and these worries? Like, because maybe there is something wrong, right? Or do I need to override some of these things that I'm worrying about? Like when somebody has OCD and it's like, oh, I'm really worried that I didn't turn off the burner. So then they go turn off the burner. But then after they've turned off the burner, they're like, I'm really worried that I didn't turn off the burner. Okay, you turned off the burner, right? So are you seeing where we've got to connect to that? And then finances is also coming up. Excuse me. So you're talking about trusting that the money is going to come in. And we can be really faith-based, right? Like, oh, money is going to flow to me. But we also have to take action. We have to take initiative. And we have to listen to our intuitive guidance, right? So keep developing those skills. Keep focusing in on what your heart is telling you, what spirit's telling you, because if you get the intuitive message like, go to the doctor, go to the doctor, I'm telling you, go to the doctor, right? Because it's something that's concerning you, that's worrying you, right? If you have anxiety and you have OCD, right? Like, I'm always worried that the burner's on, even though the burner's not on, right? Then if you need to talk to a psychologist or someone who can help you understand, why are you worrying about that, right? So if you're worrying about that, chances are you're worrying about other things. So there can be mental illness for sure, but then there can also be the intuitive side, and it's really learning how to focus on the difference between what's the ego and what's the heart. And underneath my YouTube channel, I do have a video on that, okay? I was born to enjoy life, right? So you've got two cards here. One is telling you you're moving to a more positive direction, in a positive place energetically, and that I was saying it feels mentally, so you go get checked out, you find out you're fine, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I'm okay. Changing your mindset, right? I'm going to stop worrying about these things, but also start listening into, just start listening in a bit more, okay? And then I am a beloved child of the universe, and so, because sometimes we can't create our own problems, is what I'm saying. I am a beloved child of the universe and have been given everything I need for every experience I shall have, okay? So this is really talking about, again, we were talking about like health and money. I don't know why, but I feel like money's coming up. And it's just talking about being supported. For instance, say we do get a diagnosis. You're gonna say, I'm getting a diagnosis. I have 6 months left to live. Okay. I could say, well, it's my time, right? It's time for me to die. I'm gonna enjoy my next 6 months and keep using my healing tools. Keep telling people I love them, right? If you've ever read the book, The Four Agreements, if you haven't, I guess, or maybe you have, just share if you have or haven't. That's a really good one because it's about you choose what you accept as your truth, okay? So that's kind of like your take home. You choose to accept what is your truth, because some people, like my loved one that just found out that she's not sick, but she was worried she was sick because the doctor thought she was sick, so she got her scan and found out she was okay. But she said when the doctor said, like, I think, you've got this illness, she said, no, I don't. So right away, instead of listening to what the doctor said, so it took her a while to process and say, maybe I should take a little bit into consideration of what the doctor's saying, instead of completely dismissing what the doctor's saying, right? So again, balance, listen to what other people have to say. But it's okay to filter that as well, because what resonates as our truth in our hearts, right? You ever hear when somebody says, like, if you say, for instance, like Louise Hay's affirmations. With affirmations, I claim my inner power. So you could say the sentence, I claim my inner power. Okay, everybody can say that right now. I claim my inner power. I claim my inner power. How does that feel energetically to you? Does it feel like, oh yeah, I claim my inner power? Do you feel like you are powerful? Or do you feel like you're powerless, right? So you might be saying it, but vibrationally, the person with you can be like, oh my God, they're saying it, but they don't believe it, okay? So that's something to start tuning into, is the vibration of words, the vibration of sounds. If somebody says to me, Robin, I'm really worried about you, right? And it sounds sincere to me, I feel like, okay, that's genuine. I do feel like their words are lining up with their vibration, right? But if they're like, yeah, I'm really worried about you, it's a totally different tone. So the vibration of sound, words, right? Start tuning into that, because that's important, right? I don't know why. All this is coming up for a reason, I guess. But I totally get that. We all have worries in the back of our head. And again, just let that out too. Like, talk about it, write about it, right? That's what we have this place as an outlet for, to share things. That's what I have my membership group for, so you guys can email me about things. That's what I have my one-on-ones for. That's why I'm doing all my readings. I'm doing full moon readings sent to your email through video next week's week, so that instead of you worrying about the energy of next week and planning and analyzing and getting anxiety, I'm going to help between you using your own intuitive guidance and my suggestions, then maybe you can kind of create a nicer week for yourself, that sort of thing. And then same thing for the month of May. Okay, so let's see here. And I was really tuning into when you said about doctors. I was feeling like there was something underneath that too, Sherry-Lynn, so feel free to share more about that. And yeah, just the questioning, throat chakra. People have throat chakra blocks all the time. My mom had cancer and she went to tests all the time, too much radiation. Okay, so yeah, like tests and radiation are two different things, right? Like one is treatment, and one is a test to find out if there's something wrong, right? And again, we all have to tune into our morals and our beliefs. So Lori is saying, my worry is my heart. I am on meds, and every 2 months my heart will go into AFib or low heart rate. I am trying to find a balance. My heart seems to be wild. Okay, so let's go into your heart with permission, Lori. Okay, and I'm going to call in some healing for you as well. So just be open to receiving that, as my dog is being super demanding right now. Take a couple deep breaths. Okay, so what I get for you to focus on, Lori, is just your stress levels, okay? Because actually, it's oddly enough, I have a also a family member who's going through AFib. She has a pacemaker. She has like some heart failure and all that stuff. And I was tuning into her energy as well, and said, like, your stress levels are so important. And I think sometimes we can get frustrated and all of that stuff, so lots of energy can come up. But in general, Lori, what I'm getting here is just really work on your stress levels, do everything you possibly can to lower that, okay? Because at the end of the day, that's what causes the majority of our issues, right? Okay, so sending you so much love. I'm going to send some healing light towards your heart in general. Just keep letting go of that stress, with your full moon. Just keep letting go of the stress. Just as an affirmation, I let go of stress, right? As I said, keep it simple, guys, when there's a lot happening. And the more simple you make it, the easier it'll be. We don't need to overcomplicate things. That seems to be our theme right now. My meds are causing congestion. Yeah. So again, that's where, guys, like, we do have medical professionals. So I would highly recommend, of course, make sure you're always talking to medical people about medical things, and always get specialists, always get second opinions. I use all different types of medicine. I use every type of medicine you could possibly think of. I'm not like narrow-minded at all. But again, trust your instincts. And actually, if you believe in prayer, start praying for the right mentors to come in. Actually, one of my new people that I'm working with, she said she put the energy out and kind of like prayed for her mentor, and then I popped in. So yeah, like, just, you could pray for the right people to help you. Okay. And even though some people don't believe in prayer, if you're in a desperate enough situation, you will, okay? It doesn't hurt to try, does it? Nope. No, it doesn't. So, I'm not pushing prayer, but I'm making it as a suggestion, and that's up to you. You probably wouldn't be here if you didn't believe in it a little bit. I was tested for my mind before. I'm good. Okay, so you don't need to talk about like personal things here if you don't feel comfortable, so we won't go into that. But it's interesting. You're like, I was tested for my mind. I think maybe you mean like for something specific in relation to your mental health. But the key thing here, Sherry-Lynn, just to explain it a bit better, is we were just talking about Lori, keeping it simple with lowering the stress levels. For you, my suggestion is like to really keep working on the intuition, doing the intuitive work as much as you can. And also the relaxation component, okay? Because we can't tune into the intuition if we're not relaxed, right? It's just the way it goes. Some people can after they practice for really long periods of time, but most people need to be relaxed in order to truly be able to hear and listen to our intuition. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Lizzie says she did read that book. Awesome. I was tested for, okay. You're welcome, Sherry Lynn. I hope that makes sense. I know this sounds odd, but I had a great aunt go missing many years ago. I can't help but feel like she has something she wants us to know. Any thoughts? Okay, well, I did a meditation, went into my Akashic Records before this. I had a little tubby time. That's why my hair is wet. And I was being told for me to start doing that when I'm like announcing what time I'm coming on. And I also feel called to asking you guys about times that work best for you if I'm going to be doing lives, because I'd like to get more people active on the live so I can help more people. When I did that, I have to take a deep breath. I got the message about guns and gun violence. I'm like, really? You want me to talk about guns and violence and relationships and friendships? And now I feel like my head's spinning and I was having a hard time breathing. And mediumship is just something new that I'm doing. But yeah, I was being told to kind of connect to the energy of what was supposed to come up for here before. I really need to take a deep breath, especially for those people who have other things going on, just holding space for each other here. When we go into that, Lizzie, so anyway, gun violence was coming up, death was coming up, that sort of thing, okay? So 48, you have a beautiful feather in your hair here, okay? So the key thing that comes up with the great aunt is, I feel like the key thing to focus in on is that she's in spirit, okay? Where we were just talking about prayer and things like that, it feels like for us to get back in general into our roots of the way that things used to be way back in the day, where we're talking about health and medicine and things like that. Because I think where we're talking about medications and we're talking about mental health, we're talking about our disconnect from our head and our heart, things like that. Auntie, what I get here with the auntie is that the energy of discipline is really, really important, okay? And we might have lost touch just as a group here for these messages, especially where we're working on the inner self a little bit with the full moon, is, we're letting so many things overwhelm us, too much consumption of things, technology, we're talking about radiation, negativity, news, things like that. So I'm being shown a native person back with teepees, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say native anymore, but with campfires and just sitting campfire style with benches that are made out of wood and things like that, and growing our own vegetables. I was actually last night planting my own veggie garden to eat all those foods for the summer. Lizzie, I don't know if this makes any sense to you, but it's just and I'm seeing rooted vegetables and beets and making jellies and things like that. So even though I'm bringing up gun violence and death and all this stuff, the point of this is the message is for us to get back into those old roots. And that's the important way for us to start living, because when we connect to nature, when we connect to having fires and sitting on the earth, and more conversations with people, more community. I'm going to be doing retreats next summer, woohoo, in my new space. It's just really go out, for people to go out and sit outside and just connect with other people outdoors. The weather is getting nicer here as well, but that's what we kind of need. And, some fantasy, some meditation, things like that. But when we're outside in nature, that's when the mind is clear, and that's when we can have healthier conversations. The other message was about unhealthy communication for some people, right? So really working on that too. Why do I have sense that my family don't value me? Donna says, I don't know. Let's go see, Donna. What are you up to? Oh yeah, it has a shoe in its mouth talking about discipline. So yeah, the discipline here is sometimes we know what we need to do, but it's just forcing ourselves to do it because when we're down, we kind of feel like we get into a bad way mentally, we get into a bad way physically, and we kind of continue those cycles and patterns. Yes, that was also coming up just about the full moon and just like, yeah, that's what we're clearing out is that old energy, okay? So Donna, you have the Chariot, an important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower, public recognition, okay? So Donna, you were saying like, if other people don't value you, that's unfortunate that you feel that way because that's an emotion, right? So again, around the full moon, maybe you can let go of times in your life, like in your past, where maybe you felt like someone was trying to suppress your energy. Somebody was telling you, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, or they're bullying you or picking on you. That's what I would say to really like focus in on, let go of times where people did mean things to you, essentially. You're welcome, Lizzie. So the Chariot, number 7, typically what it tells you to do is like, even if there's conflict with other people, to fight for your own rights, to feel more free. And, you know, you don't have to make anybody treat you better. You can invite them to treat you better by saying, I'm not tolerating this anymore, by having boundaries, by working on your confidence, right? By being able to say no and trusting that what you're valuing yourself at a level where you're able to say, no, I don't like this feeling. I don't like the way I'm being treated, okay? So maybe it's communicating in ways that you can say, I'm not okay with this without anger. Right? And this is telling you to take your own path, right? Beat to your own drum. So maybe that's letting go of ego as well, right? Like, well, if they don't like me, they don't have to like me, right? But this says you need to do the things that you want to do. You have to have your own goals. And if we don't share the same goals as someone else, sometimes we have to come to a balance, to an agreement, right? In certain situations. But then other times it's like, it's okay to do your own thing, right? We don't want to hurt other people's feelings. We don't want to go and do the same thing to other people that they're doing to us, right? No. But we can learn from those lessons. So just pay attention to the lessons that are coming through for you with these people, okay? Because often people are come along our path to show us something. So what could this be teaching you, okay? Donna, what do you think that's teaching you? This is good for me too, Sherilyn. Yes, it's good for me as well because I have some goals. You're welcome. I have some goals for myself as well that are really coming up that are in my visions. And then my partner doesn't necessarily share the exact same values and goals. And then I'm kind of like, okay, well, just because they don't share that exact same value or goal doesn't mean I can't still do this. I just need to be respectful in terms of how I go about doing that, to make sure that that person doesn't feel like I'm going against their dreams and their goals. That's part of kind of that compromising, right? But if you value something enough, you have to follow your own path, even if that means it's going to separate you from someone else, right? Not everybody has to like you, but if there are people that you love, that you do care about, you don't share the same values, maybe you're not meant to share the same values. It's okay. And I guess it's you do you and I'll do me, right? So, and it's okay to do that. It's like, I'm going to go on a trip with somebody and I'm going to stay at the house and I'm going to drink my coffee and look at the view, and they can go out and they can like run around with their monkey with their head cut off, or chicken, I guess. One last card here. We're going back to the auntie, I guess. What's coming up here, our last take-home message with this full moon, unless anybody else has any comments or questions, is it feels like our energies need to be a little bit more balanced right now, okay? As I was sharing some of the offerings and things that I'm doing, I also am going to do a Mother's Day special. So for $22, I'm going to do 15-minute readings for people. And those are going to be through same concept. I'm going to send it to your email. It's going to be a 15-minute video, and you can ask up to 7 questions when you go to make your payment, okay? So that's a lot of questions. I'm going to go into your Akashic records. I'm going to call in Reiki healing, and I'm also going to offer Theta healing downloads in that video. So it is important, I feel, to bring in questions that you want. You don't have to be a mother in order to accept this. After I get off here, I'm actually going to go online and I'm going to put that underneath my website, and you can also e-transfer if you prefer to pay that way. And that's going to go until Mother's Day. All right. But I'm getting that we need to balance our energies, and, you know, don't be too hard on yourself if things aren't going in the right direction right now. That's kind of part of the reflection with the retrograde. We're being forced to slow down, not to speed up, to start looking at things where we want to change, so that when the full moon is over, and also when retrograde is over, things are gonna start really moving in the right direction. So all the May readings I've been doing for people, I'm seeing at the very end of May, like as soon as retrograde's over, there's really positive things coming in, okay? So in a way, if you see it as we're like nesting right now, and we're creating things for later, right? So it's a great time to like write down all your plans. For me, if I wanna do retreats, I can start planning my retreats. Even if it's for next year, I'm already seeing lots of people that are like looking forward to coming, and some people have to travel from Canada within Canada to come. So maybe they have to like put some money aside for that. So anyway, don't limit yourself. Okay? That's mentally and spiritually with this full moon. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Feel free to, actually, I don't think you can share this out through the group, but feel free to invite other people into our group. This is something that if I find people are like writing down times and they like this, then I'll keep coming into this platform. But my goal is to also do more lives underneath my YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, feel free to do that. There's lots of free resources in there as well. I'm also going to be doing more lives on TikTok once I have a few more people following me in there. And I've been doing different types of videos underneath Instagram, etc. So just make sure you're connecting to me on all my platforms. For some reason, this card's coming up. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments, a guardian angel. So we're talking about discipline. So I definitely relate to that myself, but the kindness here is coming in. I just connected with Spirit as well before I came on here, and I'm like, okay, what do you guys want me to do? Like, what's my next step here? And they said, actually, like, things are going really well because I have like amazing, nice people who I'm meant to be with or be a part of, like circles with, etc. And so that is the most important thing. As Veronica hops on here. So Veronica, would you like a message as you're just hopping on, as we're just heading off? I feel like this card might be for you. Because it's talking about like-minded, kind people and the importance of being around those people. And you just shared in our group and introduced that you're working on, although you're a healer, you're working on being a healer. And I think you're spot on with that, the importance of only being able to give what we have to give, right? So if your heart is healed, it's easier for you to give freely without any expectation back, just because you're genuine and kind, right? And when I say this, it could be like meeting someone at the store and just like you buy them a little something at the store and you don't even know them, like random acts of kindness, stuff like that, right? Or it's just you have a really nice conversation with someone because they looked a little sad and you felt like you could pick them up, right? But when we're down in our own shit, we're less likely, we're like, oh, that lady looks so cranky and I'm not in the mood to talk to a cranky person, right? So just saying, it is about getting our energies back where they want to be, where your soul and your spirit wants your energy to be, as I was saying. So those Mother's Day readings are going to be $22. They're going to be 15 minutes long. You can ask up to 7 minutes. That's going to be Reiki, Theta, and Akashic Records. Any questions, guys, you can also book in a free 15-minute consult, or of course you can always ask me if it's a simple question. I don't know why we're getting another card, but a complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating, okay? This is really talking about making some final decisions. If there's something you're still not sure about doing, this is saying it's really important that you just make a decision. It's not always about what you're going to do, it's just going and doing it, because if you read up about the Seven of Water, it says all your dreams are just going to remain a castle in the sky until you actually decide that you want to do that thing. So it'll talk about like sexuality, relationships, partnerships. It'll talk about like career. It will talk about like your own personal meditations and healing guidance, that sort of thing. So it's like, who cares which one you're going to focus on? Just focus on one and just kind of like go do it. So spirit can get really aggressive with us sometimes too, because we are maybe fixating. And I did a video underneath my Instagram as well. This is a little bit back. So if you scroll through some of those videos, you might see the video I did on fixation, and you might find that helpful too if you have that tendency. If you don't know what fixation is, just look it up and then listen to that video. Okay, guys? So love you all, and bye for now. Take care.